Man, Fallout 2 is a great game. From its world being bigger and having more content compared to the original, to improving combat, and most importantly, the second part of the game doesn't make me gush my eyes out.
Welcome to a brand new beginning, you sorry
viewers.
Our character is Nicholas III, the grandson of our first character from the Fallout 1 video. A charismatic man, gifted with good nature and intelligence, as well as a knack for speech, survival skills, and gambling. We are sent on a quest to recover the modding tools for Fallout 76, as the village elder is really into it, and she wants to modify the map of Arroyo, our village, to have more food, as a recent famine made us look like an average African village during colonial times. Also, what I should mention is that we are playing Fallout 2 with the current, modern version of Restoration Project, which restores some of the canned content, duh, but in the grand scheme of things it doesn't make much of a difference. We start the game at the Temple of Trials, which I forgot to record, but for your knowledge, I didn't kill anything in there, as your opponents are only ants and occasional rat scorpions, which I of course bravely ran away from, as I have social skills on an average Genshin Impact player. Just kinda use your imagination and think of me running through those maps, okay? After that, we land in the village of Arroyo, where we can fix a well, and that's about it, because as you probably had figured out already, we are doing a pacifist playthrough. I leave for the town of Klamath, a settlement that is so insignificant that it doesn't even have an ending slide. In it we can find a house of a person that has some info on the mapping editor, namely Vic. Vic is not home, but he left us a Valentine gift. What a nice guy. In the pub I also come across the first companion to recruit, Solek, who has a very specific way of talking.
What can we and I do you for?
Solek is here for the same reason as we are. We are both looking for the people, in his case being Sister, who was enslaved by some nearby slavers from the den, which we will visit once we are done with Klamath. You can recruit Solek if you pay for his damages, costing us whopping $350. As far as companions go, Solek is pretty good, especially for the early game, as he comes with a sledgehammer equipped, making him pretty good in, for example, killing rats in an abandoned mall and mines, which is pretty convenient as that's our next stop.
Let me show you its features.
Oh look, a wrecked highwayman. I wonder if I can use some of its part to restore a different vehicle. So me and Solek arrive in the den, and just like in an average Californian city, I am immediately attacked by a meth addict. Den is a social experiment run by Metzger, a follower of Apocalypse who is deep undercover as a leader of slavers. The experiment is to recreate London, and considering that the town is overrun by slavers, drug addicts, and worst of all, Brotherhood of Steel, you can say it goes swimmingly for Metzger. Despite all of that, there are still some decent people in the den, like Mom or Rebecca, who could change the settlement for the better, with Mommy wanting to build an orphanage, or Becky, a generally good person. She'll let you do some odd jobs like extorting money out of some poor guy? Maybe I did a wrong judgment on Rebecca. Maybe she's not as good as I thought. On top of that, you can also participate in gang wars to take over some random ass church that nobody cares about. It's also filled with chemicals, but nobody cares about it because it was never mentioned ever again. Going into Slavers Guild, we can find the head honcho himself, who after some convincing allows us to meet with Vic, who is busy repairing his radio. He says that in order to repair it we need a radio piece, which conveniently we had in our equipment. Now the only thing that separates us from Vic is a steep price of $1,000 for his freedom. Couple of tasks later, we gathered this sum and obtained info that Ed the Brahmin dealer could have some more info about the gig. However, this guy lives in Vault City, which is pretty far from here, not gonna lie. Also, we are going to take Vic with us, mostly because I'm going to need every gun under the sun to succeed. During our travels, we come across Modoc, a small community of crypto traders who after investing into caps are in deep trouble and now scrambling to recover from the disaster by setting up random businesses like the slaughterhouse or the hotel run by Rose. One of the traders, Carl, established a farm nearby, however he was driven away from what he described as ghosts. As it turns out, what he didn't know is that those aren't ghosts at all, and instead people who drove Carl away are in fact hardcore VTuber viewers who after watching full VODs for a good 2 centuries went blind and can't see well in sunlight, forcing them to only come out during the night. There are two ways to resolve the conflict. You can either wait for MODOK traders to kill VTuber fans, or resolve the conflict by fighting Carl back in the den, and since we are good people, we do the latter one. Also, you can ask Mayor about the gag during the whole debacle, and he's like,
Oh yeah, I obviously know what the gag is.
but after the quests end, he says,
Oh yeah, I was just kidding. I got you good, haven't I?
what a bozo. And so we finally reached the Vault City, yet another social experiment, but this time around conducted by Vault itself, as the city was founded by radical kakistocrats, meaning that they will place Skyrim NPCs in charge instead of actually somebody qualified for the job. Before we reach the Vault City proper, we need to cross its shantytown located on the outskirts, because as any US city, our timeline or not, it has slums. In these we find Cassidy, who courtesy of Restoration Project has a talking head now, and hell, he's even voice acted.
Name's Cassidy. I run this place. What can I do for you?
So John the Baldy is a pretty decent companion, starting out with superior gear than our previous guys. Also, I pick out a quest from a random woman that wants her husband Joshua back from involuntary vacation inside of the city. And so we arrived at the gates of Vault City, and we won't be let inside unless we do some convincing. The easiest thing you could do is to just show that you are from a different vault, as Vault City residents will take everyone who wears a Vault jumpsuit. Alternatively, you could ask Ski for a fake pass or pose as a trader of some sorts. Inside we learn really quickly that Vault City isn't all sunshine and rainbows, as the intellectuals are forced to do slave labor, you don't have access to the vault where you could locate the Gek, and worst of all, you can be locked into the most awkward conversation in the game. And it goes on, and on, and on, and on, and on. This is Valerie, Vic's daughter. She runs the maintenance shed. Remember her, she's going to be important later on. Welcome to the Central Council building, where one of the most despised characters of classic Fallout resides. Gentlemen,